Welcome back to The Original Thought. Imagine you're sitting in a perfectly secure room. The doors are locked, the climate is controlled, and you are entirely insulated from the physical hazards of the outside world. Then, the lights click off, or a shadow shifts in the corner. Instantly, your chest tightens, your heart rate spikes. You feel a sudden, suffocating wave of panic. You haven't been harmed. You have no personal history of being attacked in the dark. That terror didn't come from your lived experience. It is a biological debt. It's a survival reflex passed down from a prehistoric ancestor who barely survived a lethal encounter in the wild and paid for it in blood. Our bodies are biological haunted houses. We are the descendants of the terrified, instinctively reacting to the ghosts of our evolutionary past, rather than the quiet reality of today. We usually think of human DNA as a simple blueprint for eye color or height. But it also functions as a massive physical library of ancient threat data. Through a biological mechanism called epigenetic inheritance, intense environmental pressures can actually alter the way genes are expressed across generations. In laboratory studies, researchers trained male mice to fear the scent of cherry blossoms by pairing it with a mild shock. When those mice later had pups, and even grandpups, the offspring were born already hypersensitive to that exact same scent, despite never being shocked themselves. The trauma physically rewired their offspring's biology. For early humans, the environment was defined by ambush predators. To survive, our visual systems were forced into a high-stakes arms race to detect very specific natural geometries hiding in the brush. Millions of years ago, primate vision evolved specifically to break the camouflage of a coiled serpent. Our eyes adapted to instantly pick out diamond patterns, interlocking scales, and sinuous curves against the chaotic backdrop of a dense jungle. Those early primates who failed to instantly recognize that specific coiled shape were bitten, and their genes were permanently removed from the pool. You don't have to learn to fear a slithering shape in the grass. You were born with the trauma of its bite already preloaded into your genetic hardware. Imagine walking down a dimly lit modern alleyway. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a curved, coiled piece of rope on the pavement. You jump back before you even realize what you're looking at. This is the subcortical bypass. A visual signal shoots straight to the amygdala, the primitive fear center, skipping the rational cortex. This triggers a survival reflex instantly. Eventually, the slower rational pathway catches up, analyzes the rope, and stops the panic. This creates the phobia paradox. Our ancient hardware forces us to panic instantly at statistically trivial modern risks, like harmless spiders, small enclosed spaces, or dizzying heights. Yet, because these biological defense systems take millions of years to build, we are genetically incapable of feeling instinctive dread towards synthetic dangers that are statistically far more lethal today. Look at a high-voltage electrical grid. It carries enough power to kill instantly. But because towering metal structures and invisible currents didn't exist in the Pleistocene, they fail to trigger a single alarm bell in our nervous system. We see the exact same blind spot in this historical photograph of pedestrians mixing directly with early automobiles. Because heavy, speeding synthetic machines appeared in an evolutionary blink of an eye, our primitive biology blindly accepts them as safe. It is a massive evolutionary mismatch. Our brains are perfectly wired to survive a prehistoric jungle, leaving us deeply scarred by ancient threats that can no longer hurt us, while remaining completely blind to the dangers of the world we actually built. Living in the modern era with Paleolithic emotions is exhausting. We spend our days soaking in misplaced biological anxiety, waiting for predators that will never arrive. But recognizing this gives us an incredible tool. When you feel that sudden, irrational panic, you can know it isn't a personal failing, a sign of madness or a weakness. Those phobias are simply the echoes of a brutal past, misfiring in a peaceful, constructed present. True peace of mind comes from actively deciphering the difference between a phantom instinct inherited from a distant ancestor and the actual physical reality of the moment you are standing in. Once we understand that separation, we can forgive our own panic and reclaim our conscious minds from the ghosts in our DNA. If you found value in exploring these unseen forces shaping our minds, consider subscribing to The Original Thought and join us as we continue to untangle the complexities of the human experience.